Hello and welcome to K-Stop Fuses K-Pop Podcast. Hey guys, this is Jeff, and as always, I'm joined by the sweet unit to my wonder unit, Tina Zoo.
Hey. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to K-Stop. New episode this week, and we're excited.
Yes, Tina just came back from across the country.
Yes.
We're happy to have her back.
Yeah, I am still kind of like getting back into the swing of things. The weather in San Francisco is gorgeous, in case anyone's wondering. It's complete opposite of New York right now. New York's just like humid and disgusting. It's like a swamp. So it's been tough to leave the beautiful West Coast, but it's also great to be back and to record another episode of K-Stop.
Yeah. Well, we got so much. We got so many clearly I'm not ready to be back either. Such awesome feedback from last week's show. Thanks again to Soy and Dylan, who were our guests last week talking about Girls' Generation, and we had a fun little thing about their for their 9-year anniversary rather. We want to give a shout out to at What Will Said, who on Twitter hit us up and said he loves how holistic SM's view of each Girls' Generation member is. After 9 years, it's amazing to see how each girl is successful without hurting the other or the group's career. And now here's to hoping we finally get Shy to debut. So first off, totally here for that Shy debut, the long-awaited subunit with who is it?
It's a really good point, though.
Yeah, no, I think he nailed it. Is that group really has done a good job about being collective and aware of what's going on with each member and making sure everyone gets the chance to shine, more or less. I mean, I think if you got that Shy unit, that would just be a great way to let Sooyoung and Hyohyun and Yuri all shine even more.
Right, and I think most larger member groups, they have a hard time showcasing more than like 3 members, I feel like. So for them to not only showcase every member of the group, but not having anybody really fall too much under the shadow of other members and have really everyone excel at what they excel best at. Yeah,
no, and I think, they're all superstars in their own right. So it's very cool. I think that's,
They're a very unique group and fandom in that sense.
Yeah. So I love the way you put that. I love how you said it was a holistic view. I think that's spot on. In particular, also got to give a shout out. This is probably one of my favorite comments ever on K-Stop. We got at Honey Shade, at Honey_Shade, who wrote, "Listen to Hey Tina talk about Jun K and all his greatness on K-Stop." That was just her comment, and I love that because, yes, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, you gotta hear.
Gushing like a little fangirl.
It was great, and I can't stop listening to that song. I listened to it like
so
3 times yesterday while getting ready for bed.
I'm sad that we can't also show her gif that she attached. It's like a Bart Simpson gif, and him saying like testify.
Yes, you're right. There was a gif that
Honey Shade is a Junkei stan, so so I'm sure she enjoyed all the commentary and just hearing, having a segment on him. And he also followed it up for anyone who hasn't seen the video for Forever Young, which is his follow-up video. Totally different vibe. He filmed it in, I think, California way back when. Much more kind of like, I don't know, just kind of more luxurious, kind of like just chilling by the waters and driving, and
very
much
different.
more of like, it also fits his vibe as well. So and he's really kind of dapper and flashy, a little bit more flashy than I feel like he usually lets on. Very, very good song. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, I was very proud. I told Tina about the new music video.
He did. He's like,
I was like,
heads up, just you need, give yourself a few minutes.
Yes, I know we're working, but
yeah.
Cool. Love that. Also, shout out to Daniel Van Wooren. I hope I'm I think I got that right, at Yellervan, who hit us up with the hashtag K-Stop on Twitter. And this comment was made me think a lot. It said, K-Stop, it's easy to draw parallels between the role/ability/sound of the members of Blackpink and 21. I'm trying not to do it. It's not fair to Blackpink, because a lot of times we were saying, with our review.
So reminded us of CL.
Yeah, or this felt like the next step in a 21 song or things like this. And you're right, we really shouldn't disregard this group for what it's so easy to fall into that comparison of all these groups, or whether they're from the same group or not. But I really do think the more actually I've listened to those songs, they kind of do have their own distinction from 21. And I
think it's like we also want to kind of have like something to, like, I don't want to say standard, but something to kind of mark what we are, how we're kind of like judging them,
or it's something to latch onto. It's a base to move around.
Base, right? Like just because I feel like CL and 21 were such game changers and such like strong figures in K-pop that it's hard not to draw comparisons in some respects,
right? Or to automatically go to that, like from a baseline, especially when they're from the same company,
and they know that what works for them and what kind of sound fans are kind of looking for, gravitate toward. So especially coming from YG, there's somewhat of an expectation it's going to have some type of fierceness, some type of hip hop element, etc. So absolutely,
it's it was very interesting to talk about that and then see how they've been doing so far. They've done quite well.
They're doing extremely well.
I'm like, dang, girls, kill it. So.
And okay, Boombaya's actually kind of growing on me.
Oh, it's totally grown on me
a little bit. So all right.
I can't get over that beat drop. It's too good.
I mean, Whistle's definitely always gonna be my preferred track of the two.
You know what I learned actually that surprised me was when we were talking about how we were looking forward to the live performance of it, and Jenny Kim she sings that last pre-chorus section before the final whistle chorus section, and I didn't realize that she's singing on that part, or she sings the first half, and I didn't realize that was her singing. And
is it the one where you like whistle to my heart, that part?
No. It's like that da 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 da, like the pre-chorus, and she just before it was always Rose and Jisoo singing it, but then Jenny Kim takes like half of it. I
haven't actually seen any of the performances yet, so I need to check that out.
Check it out.
They don't disappoint, I hope.
I don't think they do.
Okay. I just want to see that little like skip dance they do. I'm so obsessed with that.
Love it. And then last but not least, our last comment we'll mention here is at DJ Peter Lowe wanted to mention, he hit me up and said any song is better than Dreamgirls by IOI. If you remember last week, IOI's new single What a Man was in the top 5 on the charts. He said, I do prefer their latest a lot more. #KStop.
A lot of people keep talking. I still haven't listened to it. I'm like off my game. I need to.
Well, Tina, you got to get on it because IOI just won their first music chart show. Congratulations to
dope.
IOI. Wow. They don't have the full members, but hey, they did it.
That's a very quick win.
It was a quick win.
That's
I know.
impressive.
I wonder if it's going to happen with like Blackpink or someone too.
I hope so.
So we'll see, but. Yeah, thank you guys, all you guys, for the really great comments this week. We were really happy to see so many, so thanks so much. And last but not least, before we get into the new stuff, we got to look back at last week. Last week we talked about Jungkook, Think About You, BAP, That's My Jam, and Blackpink's debut. And we asked you guys to vote on which one was your favorite of the week. And Tina, we both chose Jungkook because we loved the whole feel of it. And he got second place with 16% of the vote. Coming at number 1 was BAP with That's My Jam.
It was a stacked lineup, I will say.
It was. BAP killed it. Yeah, they got 75% actually. And then Blackpink, new group, of course, got 9%. Respectable for a new group. But yeah, I think there were a lot of votes this past week. So it was kind of like it was a very stacked one. So congrats.
Second place is somewhat respectable, even though he's always number 1 in my heart.
Yes, no, there were several thousand votes this week. I'm looking at the totals right now. So thanks everyone for voting. Thanks everyone for the comments. But now it's time to get into some new-ish. Tina. Who should we kick it off
What should
with?
we kick it off with? Let's kick it off with VIXX, just because we haven't talked about them in a minute.
Has been a minute. VIXX is back with their second comeback of 3 comebacks this year. They're doing
Another
their trilogy
thing.
Trend. Yep, exactly. This is from their Hades EP. It's called Fantasy. And I gotta say, we weren't so thrilled about Dynamite, the first single. That was a really early episode in K-Stop history. I think that was like second or third or something. But I feel like this was a return to form. I feel like they kind of brought it back to...
This one definitely is more on brand for them.
Yes.
Just that darker concept. They went with Hades as their title. It's like the underworld.
Oh, Hades, not Hades, as I've been calling it.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I thought...
Hades, I think, is correct.
For the record, I think it should be Hades for the underworld. And they bring back this kind of like vampy horror. Like, I think so. I don't know. I think someone described it as like a sexy upscale sexy horror or something. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Like,
upscale sexy horror,
something like that, where they like sex it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of into that because, like, I think it's not only a return. In my opinion, I felt like it was a return to form by like going back to this sort of emotional, darker concept. But I think it's also been upgraded a tiny bit. You know, they're showing a little more skin.
Upgraded, I think, was the word.
Yeah. I think upgraded is the perfect way to put it because they are showing a little more skin, getting a little more, mature in their looks.
Right.
But at the same time, they're still playing off of sentiments that work for them. There's a lot of like, they're not. They've done a lot of sort of horror themed, darker theme, but this time they're bringing back thorns and being pricked and or they're bringing that up, and we haven't seen that from them.
And it's nothing like too graphic or anything.
No.
It's very subtle and, I guess, tastefully done.
Yeah. No, I think they really kind of did a really good job with this because there is something new, there's something refreshing, but it does feel like kind of a return back to like what they're kind of known for and do well with.
So what did you think of Fantasy as a song itself and the visual?
Yeah, I mean, I like the sort of dark, ominous sounds at the beginning. I like the sort of trappy percussion. I like the...
And they sampled Moonlight Sonata. Right?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, like the da-da, like that Beethoven. For anyone who has
ever
played piano, I'm sure that was part of the catalog as you advanced,
Oh, and
after
that's
a
interesting.
few levels.
They don't even and they don't even have to. That's probably in the public domain, so they probably get to.
Right.
Get
Yeah,
that
and it's
for
very.
free.
It's not, it's not super heavy or anything. It's a nice flow in the beginning.
Yeah, and like I and especially that and then and then once the chorus kicks in, it gets even more sweeping, more cinematic.
It's very I was just gonna say cinematic and sweeping. That it's cool, but at the same time, I don't know if I love this song because I don't know. I know I say this sometimes on other episodes. I don't know where and when I would listen to the song. This sounds like it belongs on like a soundtrack for some film, like a vampire film or something.
That's interesting.
It doesn't feel like something that should be a single. It's not a versatile song to me that I think only like some people would like. It's just such a like specific sound.
I get what you're saying, and I guess well, I will agree, like, because in the past, if VIXX had sort of like the darker sounds and looks to it, there was usually some like very sticky chorus or like something that really stuck with you, like musically.
Yeah.
This one, I see what you're saying, that it doesn't totally. It doesn't have that sort of more universal appeal.
Right.
It kind of is a very specific moment for like someone who would maybe like this sort of darker sound.
It's such a particular sound for me. And I'm like, I wouldn't. I know I've said this before. Sometimes I'll like clean my apartment. I'm like, this is like apartment cleaning music or just chilling at the apartment music.
Right.
Obviously, this is not it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen to this at 8:30 in the morning commuting to work because that's not the way I want to start my day. It's a little ominous.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess it's just something that like if you're maybe just specifically going through VIXX's discography and you're listening to it like that, I don't know if I would go to this in my Spotify queue or something and listen and like want to listen to it. I don't know. It's
Right.
not a bad song. I just think it's interesting pick for a single.
Yeah, it is kind of jarring. It is like a little more like, kind of hits you in like the gut a little more than your usual
Yeah.
pop track. So yeah, I could imagine, that it is a little trickier. Maybe as the seasons are changing, that's what they were going for,
It's
sort of
also the
thing.
summer, so I'm just
I know. It's like a little like I love when like, offering something different. I've compared all the summer jams, but
that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
I really, because VIXX became a particular favorite for me just because it took a moment with me, but then I ended up really liking the stuff they did. I loved like Chained Up, I love songs like Hide and things like that.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But then I don't know, like
Hide was great.
Dynamite it felt a little too it was a little disconnected, and then
so disconnected. I was like,
Yeah.
what am I watching?
exactly. And then this one is like they like got the concept and stuff together, right? But it just kind of is like for what, so
Right.
it's interesting. So I'm very curious to kind of see how this does and how it's received, and I'm also excited to see what that last single will bring. If this was sort of like
Yeah.
going back to the dark and going back to the emotions, if Dynamite was more fun and a little more colorful,
Right.
what is this last one gonna bring? So
I hope it's something in between
Yeah,
that I can, I guess, like
I
listen
hope so
to
too.
like more opportunity to listen to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I thought the video was like okay. It's
Mhm.
I don't know.
Lots of muted colors.
Yeah.
I liked the thorny imagery. Ravi looked great. I think he killed it.
I wish he had a bigger part. I feel like his
Yeah.
rap part always goes so quickly.
He told us, if you haven't read our
Right, we had a
Q&A
great
with,
interview. Jeff did an interview with him.
yeah, I got to talk to Ravi right before the comeback, so it was kind of cool to get a preview of it. And he said he actually had a big part in writing, or he wrote his rap and thought up the concept. So that was kind of cool to see.
Well, he thought of this concept.
Yeah, or he had a big
Oh,
part in playing with the
oops.
concept. So
I love you,
no,
Ravi.
Yeah.
but
or concept is sort of that vague word that
Yeah.
K-pop uses. I
That's
think
true.
it might have been the feel, it might have been the look, but yeah, no, I thought this is a step in the right direction at the very
Absolutely.
least. So let us know what you guys think of VIXX and
I
yeah,
haven't checked out the rest of Hades, but I imagine it's probably a
Yeah.
similar vibe.
yeah, it's it's another 3-song EP.
Yeah.
And I guess altogether this will make one full-length album by the end of it.
That would
So,
make
yeah.
sense.
So let us know what you guys think of VIXX and their new single Fantasy. Who's next on our list?
Let's switch it up and go with a female group.
Let's
So,
do it.
I don't know too much about them, but
Oh.
we've got Cosmic Girls.
Cosmic
or
Girls, or
WJ
WJSN as they're known, the now 13-member girl group.
That's
Who are under
crazy.
Starship Entertainment. They were sort of a, this group. It's actually their first release. So they debuted, I believe, it was late last year. And their songs actually kind of grew on me. They had a song called Mo Mo Mo, which
Right.
actually really grew on me. But here they are now. They were 12 members. Now they're 13 members. They added, her name is Young Jung, I believe is how it's pronounced, from IOI, who made the group, who was on the Produce 101 show.
right.
She was on IOI. She's taking a break from that group, isn't in the new single, and instead with this group, and has now been added as the 13th member. Quick
That's
backstory
insane.
about this group. I know, right? They're split up. The WJSN comes from, and I didn't know this until very recently, comes from their 4 units names. There is the Wonder Unit, the Joy Unit, the Sweet One, and the Natural One. So
Right. There's
3
like
members.
so many layers to their name
There's
because
so many.
it's kind of like Girl Generation, where in Korean
Right.
it's Soneoshide, right?
Right.
And then you take the first letter of each of those words and it's SNSD.
SNSD,
But then
right.
they also have the English name, Girls Generation.
Right.
And like it's the same thing with here where it's like Cosmic Girls. Cosmic is like Wooju, so it's like Wooju Sonyo.
Oh.
And then so that's like where they get the WJS Sonyo SN.
Yeah. Right.
And then it just happens, and they also, I guess, like with each letter made it like an acronym or something.
Yeah.
There's very, I'm just like, do I call them Cosmic Girls? But I guess
Yeah.
kind of like with Girl Generation, you can refer to them in multiple ways.
Right. I always go off of what they're on iTunes, and on iTunes they're actually WJSN.
Yeah.
But I like Cosmic Girls too, because
Yeah.
you know,
WJSN just doesn't roll off the tongue for me.
it doesn't. It reminds me of Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
Like
WSJ, because their Twitter handle is that. So.
Yeah, right. So the Wall Street Journal girls. No, just kidding. No insulting. No, they. I actually. Well, I kind of. I felt like I got a better sense of this group because this new single, Secret, it has like this music video with a very cosmic feel to it, right? So the song,
they were very on brand, Starship, with their cosmic girls on the planet with like freaking
zodiac signs and like cosmos by them, and
there's like asteroids and shooting stars and planets. They are in space,
right? But I will say I actually liked this this video and concept more than their original they originally debuted with, because I actually kind of figured out their place. I was like, okay, they're gonna be the cosmic astrology group. They're gonna play more to those sentiments, be a little more ethereal, maybe a little more mystical, whatnot. The song itself, I don't know if it's really nailing this sort of making them really stand out. It reminded me of something I heard in the past. It might have been like a Lovely single or something like that.
It's very, very generic, bubbly girl group song. Obviously, like, anyone who listens knows that that's not my style at all. But I think the song was actually cute and it was catchy.
Yeah.
I listened to it first without watching the video. Thank God.
Oh. Okay,
someone broke in. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, we also forgot to put the sign up.
Oh, yes, sorry.
It's all right. So I'm glad that I listened to it before watching the video, because the video was kind of a mess to me.
Yeah.
But I thought the song was cute.
Yeah. I don't know. The song did not stick with me a ton. I can't say that it like blew my mind in that way. I think I didn't really remember it right afterwards.
Oh, I can't. I don't know what it sounds like anymore.
Yeah,
like,
but
I can't recall what it sounds like.
At least the video kind of gave me more of an impression of like just where this group is sort of headed.
Right.
Now, here's the thing though, is that like it was just like everyone looked gorgeous, everyone looked great, but like it's just a lot of members. And I will say, and I think we kind of had this discussion in the past when we were talking about, if you remember this classic K-Stop episode where we discussed large group versus smaller groups, we were saying someone like 17, who also has 13 members, has done a really good job, in my opinion, of like separating them and being like, this is the hip hop unit, this is the performance unit, this is the vocal unit. With someone like WJSN, I don't know what the difference between a joy unit and a sweet unit is. Or like, and those things it's a little trickier to put your finger on where all these girls stand out.
Everything is so ambiguous.
It's a little
in
ambiguous.
the way that they market. Not in I guess like concept wise, but just how they're going to differentiate, like you said, between these subunits. I get no sense of like, I mean, obviously they're all cute and positive, it's not showcasing skills or referencing skills, and they're not, I don't know, like,
it's hard to be like, that's a Wonder one versus a Joy
one. And I don't know how extensively they're pushing this group to the Chinese audience, since there are like 3 or 4 Chinese members.
I think the group is half Chinese, or was half Chinese.
I don't know. Last time I checked, there's only like 3 or 4. I don't know. So
Incorrect
that's like
fact.
Surprising. So
yeah, and I remember because it was a big play, because I believe this group is sort of half Starship, half a Chinese company, or is the creation of them.
They both have investments or whatever.
Right, which is also very interesting. So, it's kind of like, I'm like wondering, like, where can this group go, or how can they differentiate themselves? And, we were even saying that someone like Blackpink now with their 4 members is actually going against the norm by having less members than these groups that sort of been having a lot, and Cosmic Girls is sort of the biggest of the female groups. So I'm curious to kind of see how this does for them, what it's like adding, Yeonjung to the group. I don't know. I almost feel a little bad for her that she might be kind of lost in between.
It's just really ambitious, and especially
very ambitious. to make 13 people, new girls, all very famous. Like we were saying with Girls' Generation.
It's a lot of resources. It's a lot of money.
Right. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, especially when it's not one of the big 3 companies.
Yeah, it's
tough. It's a little risky.
Right. So, maybe they'll pull a 17's doing well, I would say. Maybe they'll pull a 17 and make it happen, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this goes out. So
yeah, the video I'm not here for.
See, I'm here for the video.
If anything, yeah, it helps me get a better sense of who they are, but it's tacky.
I wasn't here for the sort of very CGI looks, but there were some really cool moments.
It was when fake After Effects. Let me put them in a DeLorean looking thing, and they're exploding into space.
There were some visuals I like when they were dancing around that sort of glowing cube, on the beach.
Oh, right. Okay.
And some of the makeup was cool, but I will say some of the effects were just not the jam.
It's a little random. It's a little sci-fi-esque.
Yes. But that's who they are. They're the Cosmic Girls.
I guess.
Well, we want to know what you guys, and we're a little divided here, so let us know what you guys think.
The rapper was she only stood out because she was a rapper, and
I remember that.
She has that very distinct verse.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm I don't know who is who. I don't know who I'm listening to.
Right.
But again, I think the song's cute. I don't hate it.
Oh, you see, I'm not a fan of the song. You guys got to let us know what you think. Be sure to use #KStop on Twitter. Hit us up individually. I'm at Jeff__Benjamin.
And I'm Hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Yes. And last but not least, this is an exciting one.
This one is exciting. I forgot about this or didn't realize that had happened. So.
It's BTS member Suga, who's he kind of surprise released this.
Yeah.
Well, if you were following my Twitter, I might have been dropping some hints about this, totally confidentially. But yeah, we talked a little bit about BTS's Suga, who is making his mixtape debut as August D for his mixtape of the same name, and I had to say, if I thought he was a beast beforehand, he really just came, even more of a beast here.
I knew he was a very skilled rapper, but I definitely did not realize, I guess, that he had such a crazy flow. Yeah, I don't know. I guess whenever I watched BTS, I didn't really focus on him too much. I just always saw the group as a collective unit.
Yeah,
I didn't really focus too much. Right.
So many good rappers.
Too much on them individually. So I was very pleasantly surprised because I feel like I kind of, when it comes to rap, I'm oh, Rap Monster or whatever. I like to focus on him a little more because he's a cutie as well. Not that Sugar's not, he's very cute. But it was nice to see him do something solo and have him spotlighted because he is extremely, extremely skilled.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And his lyrics were the most surprising. I think the most surprising part of this release were his lyrics. I feel like I'm sure some of it might have been lost in translation, but I always find it so interesting how people manage to translate rap verses from one language to another, because linguistically there's so much that could be lost in translation, and just the cadence and
the play on words
and the somebody's cadence and flow and just references to pop culture. A lot of it can get lost and go over your head or just not make sense. But I think a good majority of it came through, and his whole kind of message was very y'all better be glad I'm an idol and that I don't have enough time in the day to focus completely on mixtapes, because I would fucking kill you, all of you, if I did have that time.
Dang.
Excuse my language. But he was y'all are. I really like the line he had about my tongue technology. I
actually have the direct translation if you wanna know it. This is from the company actually. This is on Give It To Me, right? I believe this is on the Give It To Me song.
Oh,
right?
No, it's on
August D. The August D song. You're sorry.
I think that's how you pronounce it, because when you drop vowels, it just confuses me.
Right. Sorry. It's I rap and y'all get turned on by my tongue technology.
Right. I'm like, oh shit, I've never heard something like that.
STD.
Like, it wasn't anything corny. It
was kind of cool. I mean, it's like you get turned on by my tongue technology. I was like, oh damn. That was actually probably the standout line to me. I was considering tweeting it when I heard this song initially, but I was like, oh no, I don't want to give anything away.
That's kind of dirty, and I'm like, I kind of like it. Like, I like that he like really turned it up a notch.
No, exactly. I mean, that song in particular is just such. I mean, that song just really, really impressed me. The James Brown sample, the "It's a Man's World," like, wow, like that was just so spot on, and like like. That is like the perfect use of a sample. Like that's what that is like how you use a sample. Right. Like he had like those sweeping violins and just like added that extra effect to it on top of his like that song is just so classic, but then it got reworked to this hip hop beat, and oh my gosh, like it just
I know it's
really
crazy
worked.
what people can do with samples.
Yes. And it makes and it makes sense that it was a mixtape because, that's probably a very expensive sample to clear. Right. So it was very cool to just see that put out there in that way and just like, wow. Like, I think that's the kind of song and that's the kind of use of music and, something old but new that will get, mainstream rappers' attention to be like, oh, shit, like, why didn't I think to use this one, Right.
I think I'll never not be kind of slightly irked or surprised by how much energy Suga can deliver, because when you look at him, I'm not gonna lie, he's not like a big dude and he doesn't seem
baby face.
He has a baby face. I'm like, I just don't expect that kind of flow and that intensity to come out of him. I was watching the video and he's like tied to a chair in the video, struggling.
Yes.
I guess like maybe that's like a metaphor like of him trying to I guess like find himself or like kind of struggle with his like where
artistic
he's trying to
freedom.
go in his career or whatever. And it's just like it's almost kind of like I was taken aback by how aggressive he was and sounds and and I'm impressed.
Yeah, it just goes to show
impressed.
Like looks aren't everything, or don't judge a book by its cover.
Because I'm just like they do put him in a lot of makeup, a lot of stage makeup. So I don't. For the longest time, I'm like, I don't fully know what he even looks like because he just has so much eyeliner and his hair is like always a different color.
Yeah, sure.
So, so it's just, I guess with him, I never saw him just individually, I guess. So.
Sure. No, I mean, it's tough to do in an idol group, you know, but the thing is, like, I always really knew, like, I remember his like lines in Dope and Fire in particular. They always stood out to me, and I was always, once again, like you were saying, sort of surprised that sort of this, sweet puppy dog was giving these like ferocious lines, and it was almost like that, that sweet looking dog that bites you in the end. So I was just, and I'm really happy that he's been able to get this opportunity, and it's interesting too that he's not going by Suga, he's going by Auguste.
Right. I think it's cool. I think I saw somebody comment and they said that if you spell that backward, it's DT Sugar, and DT stands for Daegu town, which is where he's from. He's from Daegu.
Oh.
And like
I love that.
On the track, he references like, oh, because I'm like from the D or whatever. Or, like, I'm just like, I just think it's funny when they refer to like towns or cities in Korea by like, oh, the D, and like makes me think of like when people say like T-dot for Toronto and stuff like that. So, because like Daegu is like not a huge city, but it's like third or fourth on the list in Korean cities, and there's like quite a few idol stars. Joon-K, for example, is from Daegu.
He is.
Yeah. So
look at this.
And I think Joon-K actually tweeted something in support of the mixtape. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so some Daegu brothers, showing each other some
some
love, some support.
What were some of your other favorite songs on the mixtape?
The mixtape actually, like production wise, I didn't love it. I think it's always difficult when I don't understand the language, and the production didn't have. There wasn't a lot of standout production for me, so a lot of it kind of sounded the same to me because there wasn't a lot for me to to be able to
Dive into.
distinguish between individual tracks.
Sure.
I did love the final two tracks. The first was the interlude that leads into the Suran feature.
Right.
So far away, because that one's a bit softer, and I like a little bit softer beats. So that one really stood out to me. I like when they feature like female vocals on there, and and I don't know anything about Sudan at all. So
me neither. I'm very curious now. That song was really spot on.
I really liked it a lot. I wish there was a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was fire, and like I just really like that he's coming into his own with this, and not just like through kind of random ciphers on stage, and really just a cohesive project for him.
No, I think it's a really good look for him. And I remember even Rap Monsters mixtape got like some look. Like I remember like Spin put him on like their best rap albums of the year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like kind of a really cool moment, because even then BTS sort of wasn't where they were at. Then that was like, what year was that? That was like a couple years ago. If it wasn't last year, the year before. And it was just, I don't know, I really hope that Suga kind of gets that same spotlight too, and gets to be seen, because I just really think this is like an accomplished work. I mean, the Augusti song is just so good, that like James Brown song. And I really do love the Suran song too. 724-148 has like a cool bass line to it, I thought. Give It To Me also has that punch to it. I don't know, I'm pretty, it is a mixtape, so I feel like
it does fit the mixtapes. Sonically,
it's a little more, it's not done up as much as like their albums would be. So, I understand where you're coming from with like the production thing, but at the same time, like
a lot of mixtapes are like that. I mean, it's like they're not funneling in a ton of money for
it. But I think he should be proud of it. I think he did well. I think BTS Army is probably really happy about this, and it's just surprising. He has such a commanding presence and sound, like on stage. When I watched clips from KCON, I was like, he can hold his own on stage despite his small frame. Right, despite like his name is Suga. Like that's like
you would think he should be so sweet.
Right, like how much sweeter could he get?
Right.
And then here we are. He's not a rap monster. He's Suga.
Right.
But
so I was very, very impressed by this.
Yes,
I'll definitely listen to it more. Didn't have too much time to go through the mixtape.
No, seriously.
More than a couple times. So
you beast, Suga. You're a beast. Congrats.
Love it.
Yes. So, all right. Thinking about everyone, Suga, VIXX, and WJSN. Who gets your vote?
Definitely Suga.
Me too.
Definitely.
Gotta give it up. All right, guys. And be sure to support your favorite release of the week on our poll on Fuse.tv, where you can listen to the episode, you can read our playlist, or you can see a playlist of all the music we're talking about in this episode, and lots more. All right, let's get into some charts, okay?
Let's do it.
Where we check out every week the top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes, and we see who's making a splash over here. So at number 5 this week, we got Save Me by BTS.
Really?
They've risen back and up. I wonder if Suga's inspiring people to like go back to BTS. Very that's very cool. Number 4, Monster by EXO. And if you remember, EXO's about to release a new single.
That's true. I saw something about a teaser.
Yeah, I did. I saw the teaser. It looked really cool. If you guys, I'm going to do quick self-promotion. I did an interview with London Noise, the duo that kind of have become SM's new go-to people. They've done Taeyeon's Y, EXO's Monster, EXO's Lucky Ones, FX All Mine this year. And I got a really cool interview. They told me so many awesome things, all these really great stories about how Monster was created, how working with Taeyeon, working with SHINee, so many cool things. So I hope you guys check it out.
Definitely go check that out.
Number 3, Boombaya. Blackpink.
Boombaya.
Yeah, Boombaya. And I think Boombaya was number 1 last week. So...
Was it? Oh, it was.
So.
It was.
Yeah.
Crissle was
number 2.
right?
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that rising up there. Number 2, VIXX's Fantasy. Hey. VIXX proving they got that American fan base supporting them. And number 1, this is interesting, Whistle.
Yes.
Like a missile. Blackpink. So Whistle's kind of overtaken Boombayah, which is...
Whistle's more of a like distinct song, I
feel
like. It stands out a lot more.
I think it stands out a lot more too. I think it's like that song I'm like, okay, I get it. This is what Blackpink is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, what's on your guys' playlist? What's on your charts? Let us know. We always love reading the comments. And last but not least, here we go into our deep cut section where we talk about something trending, something controversial, something happy, something awesome in the K-pop community. Here we got something of a bit of a controversy, talking about Girls' Generation, Tiffany, who's in a bit of hot water, who the other day, it was on Korea's Independence Day, was in Japan with all of the SM artists. They were having an SM Town concert in Japan where, you know, all the artists, they do this huge concert with all the artists, everyone from EXO to Super Junior to FX to, you know, all those awesome groups to BoA. And she is a bit of a hot water for using the Japan flag emoji to caption one of her Instagram posts. And then on Snapchat, she used this filter, like a geotag, that Snapchat creates that has the rising sun flag, that imagery on it, which is associated with Japanese imperialism. And that was on Korea's Independence Day. So automatically...
August 15th? 15th,
yes.
Right.
So this is relatively fresh, relatively new. Tiffany quickly apologized with a handwritten note on Instagram. A quick quote from that is that she said, "I apologize for causing concern to many people due to my mistake on such a cherished, meaningful day. I apologize for causing concern to the many people due to my mistake on such a cherished, meaningful day." I think I accidentally just copied and pasted the same exact sentence twice. But she said she's going to reflect on her actions. She didn't mean anything by it, etc. So I guess kind of, you know, the thing to talk about here is that, you know, I really don't think, well, okay, so she's gotten sort of a lot of heat for this. Some people are saying she'd be kicked off the show she's on, her career's over. These are the very harsh reactions. Personally, I think it's apples and oranges here, right? Because it's not like she was in Korea sharing writing about the Japanese flag and, you know, using a Snapchat filter that has the imperial flag on it. You know, it was all about context. She was in Japan sharing this thing. You know, maybe it was a little ill-timed. I think maybe she wasn't thinking totally with her head that, you know, hey, this is Korea's Independence Day where
right.
you are where you have lived for a large chunk of your life at this point.
Part of me wants to think that because she was, you know, on a trip, she was she was going international. I feel like maybe the days maybe kind of like were mixed up for her. She wasn't thinking what day it was. Granted, like, I'm sure she knew it was, like, somebody must have brought up it's Korea's Independence Day.
That's a holiday, right?
It is a holiday. But maybe she just like completely didn't think about what time of day or dates or anything when she was posting, because sometimes when you post and you think of a caption, you're really only thinking of like the caption. Of
course. I think we all do that.
I know some people were trying to defend her, saying, "Oh, this was really early," or no, this was really late on the 14th, so technically it wasn't the 15th. And some people were saying, no, it was like early AM the 15th, so it was technically the 15th. I'm like, that shouldn't really matter because it's all around the same kind of 12-hour kind of window. And it's just really unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. Korea, like she's Korean. She lives in Korea. She should know that Koreans are very nationalistic.
Yes.
You know, even Korean Americans who live in the States, they are very, you know, it's a nation full of pride, and they take these things very seriously. Like, that's why when Jay Park, you know, those comments from freaking years ago that had nothing to do with his current sentiments at the time, that was a huge scandal, and that was like, you know, it's great that he was able to bounce back from that, but at the time people thought he was done and he couldn't, you know, come back to Korea or whatever. So I don't know. It's just, it sucks that like she's under fire because Tiffany didn't mean anything by that, and she was just, and also like the geo filter or whatever, that like,
I know.
Does that, I don't use Snapchat, so does that automatically come up when you are in Tokyo?
Right. So yeah, that's the thing to remember is that like those things. It's not like, I mean, I think a lot of people sort of see that rising sun imagery and kind of think, are brought to mind a certain time or a certain time period, and especially for Korean people, I'm sure they are as well. But yeah, that's the thing is that Snapchat creates those, and she can sort of swipe through and decide, I'm sure there's several options to say that you're in Tokyo. Or to use this sort of geo filter, as they call them, to show that you're in Tokyo. So maybe taste-wise, that wasn't the right one. Right. I would agree with that. That is not the right one to use, because that imagery does stand for something still to this day.
Yeah, I think also when it is also tricky when it's emojis and imagery, because I personally wouldn't think too much into the rising sun, because when you're looking at it, you're just seeing Tokyo, and then there's like a graphic of the rising sun, and I don't think like there was like probably so much on her mind, and, like she's like rehearsing and like shopping and hanging out with managers and whatever. It's like she's not really putting too much thought into it. Like you have to understand, like they're not overthinking everything the way fans do.
Right. That's actually an amazing point.
So it's like she probably looked back and was like, shit. Like, why didn't I catch that?
Right.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, like the rising sun imagery, that's not something that you're thinking about all the time. Not everyone's mind isn't in like textbook mode all the time, thinking like, this is probably maybe problematic or something, but I totally understand that it was a little reckless, and to not maybe like consider that it's Korea's Independence Day, and Koreans are not here for anything that's like pro-Japanese, like on any day, to be honest, when it comes to historical ties. So especially on that holiday, it just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm like, if I was about to like try to maybe equate it to like if it was 4th of July and Katy Perry was sharing something about herself in Japan, I don't think people would have the same reaction. But I also don't think it's apples and oranges. These are two very different things. And so, I do feel like it was a mistake, and I think it was a little reckless 100%. And, I think, just be a little more aware of what sort of those images can conjure up. And, I don't think Tiffany meant any malice against it. Or I think, she wasn't just in Korea sharing pictures of the Japanese flag on Korea Independence
Oh, absolutely.
Day.
I mean, people are saying at least she was in Japan and just trying to just be happy about the fact that she's there, because when you are promoting in that country, you want to an extent show that you're happy to be there.
The fans are there for you.
Yeah. So it really is just a timing thing. I feel like that it all kind of like didn't work together very well.
And I saw some interesting other sides of the coin saying, hey, why is SM having a concert in Japan on Korea's Independence Day?
Well,
and
that's
I was like,
not her freaking fault. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not her fault, of course. But they're like, hey, wait a minute. What about this huge company? Like, jumping ship.
True, so exactly. Like y'all like dragging her when like SM
they
their
put her
schedule,
there.
They're like, wait, listen.
So I thought that was an interesting comment.
Yeah,
too.
I think the whole schedule of that was just whack, but
it's a little
the whole timing.
Curious.
Has anyone else said anything about it? I didn't see any other reactions. But
no, right. I don't think so.
I guess no one's trying to like further highlight the
I haven't seen anything else. I saw, there was sort of like a mixed reaction from Japanese fans, like saying like, hey, she just thought it was a cool thing, it's cool. But then also, being like, hey, if you guys are going to be so sensitive, like, don't come, So it was an interesting mix of comments I saw from what I saw gathered. Right. But yeah, no, I think, I'm
just like, at this point, I'm like, baby girl, just don't use emojis.
Baby
don't
girl,
use geotext.
I know. And we've talked about this too, how social media has sort of like, opened some more of these gates, and for good and for bad at times,
And it's one of those things where, like, even if you go back and correct it, because Instagram obviously has the edit function, that don't matter.
It lasts forever.
That don't matter. Like,
it's there forever.
The screen cap is there. People screen cap like, there are people who probably screen cap every post she posts, like, regardless of its content, just to have it.
Just literally to have. It's 100% true.
So, I just feel bad because, like, she's one of my favorite members. She's so sweet, and I think she's,
it's unfortunate.
It's never like, for her. I want to say it's never in, like, with bad intentions.
Yes, I agree.
But like, it just sucks when it's something that has to do with national pride.
Yeah, it has a lot of history to it. Should be empathetic.
I think like this should blow over pretty quickly. She issued a response pretty immediately. I want to say like a day later.
Girls' Generation has their fair share of scandals throughout the year. They seem to be doing pretty well still, so feeling good. So strength, Tiffany. Strength, fans. But let us know what you guys think in particular about Tiffany, about Suga, about VIXX, about WJSN. We want to hear it all. So many awesome comments from last week's episode. So fun to go through them, and we'll always be looking for them. So you guys, thanks so much as always for tuning in to K-Stop. Hit us up anytime. As always, this has been Jeff.
And this is Tina. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.